Hey everybody, Sai here with game number 3 in the matchup, the clan war between Team Vile, which is the team I'm on, and Team Insanity is actually their team name. And once again we have Crixus because he did defeat our last player, Gion, and so he will continue to match up against each of our consecutive players until he does get knocked out. And first team to 5 wins will end up winning. Team Insanity is currently up 2-0, having dropped Striker first, which I did not cast, and Gion second, which a lot of you probably already saw. Now I did just install my new sound card. I'm not too happy with it. It was a very high rated sound card. It didn't cost much, and I thought, okay, this is very simple. It should do the trick. Hopefully it'll help out with the S sounds and my microphone levels, but I don't really know if it did either of those. So I want you guys to give me some feedback on the quality of the audio of this replay. A couple things about it. It's a Soundwave 5.1 PCI, and when I installed it, it had an option for like a CD-ROM connection. I don't know what that meant. Let me know what that means, because I couldn't find anything on it because I'm a noob. And also, I was gonna say something else. I don't even remember. Oh, also when I double click the icon in the taskbar in the bottom right, the little quick launch thing, my computer freezes, and I've reinstalled drivers. I've made sure the drivers are up to date and that sort of stuff, but it just causes my computer to freeze, and it leads me to believe maybe something didn't install right. I've tried uninstalling and reinstalling, but I mean, my microphone right now is on the microphone boost, and it's at 60 out of 100. And the reason it's at 60 and not higher is because if I go higher, I get tons of crazy feedback, like and like and just weird shit like that. So it's really pissing me off. I'm not very happy, if you guys can't tell, but yeah. But anyway, we have iEchoic as the orange Zerg in the bottom left, and he is going a 2-Rax build. He's actually been practicing this a lot. He did pick Steps of War because he was the loser coming in. Team Vile did end up losing their last match. And Steps of War is very hard for Zerg ZVT because it's so close, and these 2-Rax pushes are extremely difficult to hold. And we can see Crixus is responding properly to this map, the positions they're in, by getting a pull first and not worrying about that hatchery just yet. Just because if you do hatch first, it's so hard to stop any kind of 2-Rax build, especially if you bring a lot of SCVs. Crixus now researching the speed. He does have his queen out, and looks like he's going to be dropping his hatchery pretty quick here, so very safe opening. Can fend off pretty much anything that comes with him, depending on how well he scouts with any lings or drones, and how many lings he chooses to get. I don't think he's seen this rack snow. The good thing about this wall off at the bottom is you can't really see the second rack, so it's almost impossible to expect this kind of early pressure that iEchoic's going to be sending out right now as a Zerg. And so you're going to find yourself overproducing lings or saving larvae, as we see Crixus did here, until you know what your opponent is doing. So Crixus has, what, 8 lings right now? 10 lings right now. He's got 8 more coming. Nice engagement right before this brush. He's able to get his lings up nice and close before the Marines are able to fire at them. And unfortunately, there's just a couple too many Marines for him to handle, but he has reinforced with about 10 lings. He's bringing down his drones to help out, flanking with those original 6 or 8 lings, and he will get a nice surround on these Marines. But brilliant Marine micro by iEchoic. He is able to wipe out a lot of the Zerglings. And the cool thing about this is Crixus' economy is hurting because he spent so many on lings as opposed to drones, while iEchoic's isn't necessarily hurting. He's actually throwing down an expansion during all of that, and you can produce SCVs while you're producing Marines as well, while Zerg have to choose one or the other. I can either get Zerglings or I can either get drones. So it's pretty cool. He's up 19-14. Crixus does have the expansion up, and a lot of speedlings for map control. But as long as iEchoic maintains a strong wall and doesn't let Crixus somehow overwhelm him with a lot of speedlings, he should be just fine. We see he's now moving in his Overlord to do some scouting of iEchoic, see how he's going to follow it up. He has not yet seen this expansion, so Crixus is playing it a bit safe, throwing down a Spine Crawler. Not completely necessary, but he can't know what iEchoic has right now. Actually, he needs to be careful this supply depot doesn't die. Ooh. I think he could have killed his supply depot and run up and maybe did some damage. Would have lost a lot of Zerglings, who knows. iEchoic could always just run up here and open this, lift up that supply depot. And here is the Overlord floating in. Is he going to get any intel? 3 Marines from iEchoic destroying it. He sees that second Rax, but that's pretty common, and he does see the command center, so very clutch Overlord right there. Yeah, good work, Overlord, you're a pro. Another spine coming from Crixus. I would have canceled that like immediately after seeing this orbital command. Uh-oh, what's this? Baneling Nest. Oh boy. And I think this is in response to this orbital command. Crixus knows that he's going to be behind economically because that's a pretty fast expansion. Fast expansion after a 2x pressure that forced Crixus into a lot of lings. So I think he just wants to smoothly transition from speedlings, which he has a lot of, unfortunately, a lot more speedlings than drones earlier on. And he wants to transition into banelings and just try to kill this completely. Here we are, another engagement, some surround from the speedlings. Nice micro once again from iEchoic. He will clean up these speedlings. And once again, Crixus is forced to just produce another batch of zerglings. We are seeing about 12 more. And this is almost has to tell you as a spectator that he's going to be trying some kind of all-in. Of course, I have seen this game. And the Baneling Nest is pretty indicative of that. But if he didn't go all in, if he just tried to drone up hard right now, he would be pretty far behind because the Terran player is up on harvesters and he has mules. And that's never good as a Zerg. And on this map, trying to play long 3-base, 4-base macro games is very difficult. You often find yourself being pressured too much by Terran Marines, Terran tanks, that sort of stuff. So he will be trying for a Baneling bust. No lair whatsoever. Second gas just now going down. And he's got just enough drones to fund steady speedlings from each hatchery. So, and you know what? We did see a Marine Scout here, and this is something iEchoic and I were talking about earlier. I was wondering if he saw that Baneling hatching, but I think he was just out of vision. This brush right here blocked the Baneling vision, so he only sees Zerglings right now. If he had seen Banelings, you'd likely see a bunker, tons of bunkers spaced out nicely, and even maybe a Rax and a Rax just to block off, wall it off. And he probably would have these Marines in a backwards position, start producing some Marauders, and just do everything he can to hold this Baneling bust because there are 10 Banelings out. There are just Zerglings swarming like crazy. Holy crap, look at this production tab. That's the most I've ever seen on a production tab. And here come the Banelings. 1, 2 going down. Only one going down before it hits. Banelings destroying that bunker completely. Now these Lings are getting a great surround. That last Baneling going to the SCV line probably should have went for these Marines. And now the Zerglings are mixing it up with the SCVs, the Mules, the Marauders, and the Marines. And they're just killing so much right now, man. Look at the units. iEchoic's down to 25 SCVs, only 2 Marines and 1 Marauder against 23 Zerglings. And Crixus can just keep on reinforcing. He needs to produce more Lings. There we go. And he can even make more Banelings if he wants. So it's not looking good for iEchoic. Luckily, this bottom Rax does allow him another wall. So he's not really completely out of it right now. He's just looking in terrible shape. Forced to lift off his barracks, his command center. This refinery going down. And now, if Crixus wanted, he could just macro up off of 2 base, transition into mutas. We are seeing that. We are seeing a layer going up. But it looks like iEchoic's having none of that. He just wants to go all in with a ton of SCVs and just a few infantry. But look at all those Zerglings. That is a ton of Zerglings. And he's going to get a perfect surround. Stim is up. Is it going to matter? He has +1 attack. Is it going to matter? No. All those SCVs dying. All those Marauders dying. All those poor Marines dying. The black person always dies first, man. In this case, Marines would die first because they're a lot weaker than Marauders. But iEchoic is down to 17 SCVs. He's frantically trying to kill these Zerglings while they're busting down the supply depots. Looks like these SCVs will arrive just in time to repair it up. And Crixus will back off, and oh boy, here come the Banelings. This is not a Baneling tight wall. Banelings right here will actually hit all 4 of these buildings, and it only takes 5 Banelings to kill these. 80 times 5 is 400. Math lesson for the day, everybody. So we're going to see 5 Banelings, or more than that, 9, march right up here. Boom! And this is going to be it. GG from iEchoic. Too many Lings. Second Baneling bust was too much for him. Harvester count was too low. Zerg was getting a Roach Warren for some reason. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Again, let me know about the microphone. Anything you know I can change. It's just so frustrating, so exasperating, and it's really killing my drive to cast because I want the settings to be perfect, but you know, I haven't really been able to achieve that. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.